Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are here to round up some Rangers news and to preview the next games coming up. So I am your host, Scott Carney, and again it's another full house. So Ali Pearson, how's it going, mate?
Not too bad, just sitting in a greenhouse here at the moment, but apart from that, everything's great.
So, I'm sitting in a greenhouse as well, mate. Okay, it's warm. Fucking Scottish people, man, we're never fucking happy about anything. Jamie Lowe, how's it going, mate?
Good, I'm absolutely loving this weather.
And Scott Gemmell, how's it going, mate?
I am good. I was saying just before we started recording there that I wish we didn't put these up on YouTube because I would be sitting with my top off right now.
I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there, Scotia, that want to see you with that top off.
No chance.
The Keanu Reeves guy, he might like that, mate, to be honest. Keanu Reeves, my man, but please never take your top off in one of these podcasts, Scott. I don't think I'd be able to put it up. Jamie, how's Alfie? And by that I mean the dog and not Alfredo the player, because if you know Alfredo the player, you've kept that quiet.
He's been struggling in the heat. He had me up kind of early hours of the morning. A wee shame. We've got him kind of a cool pad and a cool vest and bandana and stuff. Loads of cooling aids, but he's been struggling, sadly. Wee walks.
Wee walks, it's a shame, man. It's a Frenchie as well. Same, like, my partner's dog stays with her mum, and she's a bulldog, and she just can't go anywhere in heat like this. I mean, we can hardly go anywhere in heat like this, so it's bad enough for dogs. But anyway, gentlemen, nobody's here to listen to us talk about dogs. This is the second last Club Deck Corner before the season starts, so we've got a very special Club Deck Corner coming up next week, so stay tuned to hear the full details of that. So first things first, let's jump into the Rangers news, and stadium attendances are going in the right direction. The club released a statement on Tuesday which said, following further discussions with the Scottish Government and local authorities, Rangers have been granted permission to host 8,500 supporters in Saturday's match with Brighton and 12,750 at Sunday's Real Madrid fixture. The stadium capacity for the upcoming Scottish Premiership opener with Livingston has also been set, with 17,000 fans being permitted to attend on July 31st. Season ticket holders enrolled in the home friendly scheme and My Dear's members will again be given priority to this weekend's fixtures. That's what they said, but that's obviously not what's transpired. And for the Livingston Premiership opener, a straight ballot among season ticket holders will take place for the 17,000 available tickets, with those unsuccessful provided free access through the Rangers TV virtual match pass. Those that are successful in the ballots will receive an email outlining arrangements for the matches they've received tickets for. I think the biggest bit of the statement is the bit I'm about to read now, and it's under current Scottish Government roadmap plans. It is our expectation that we'll have a full house at Ibrox for a Champions League qualifier with Malmo or Helsinki on August the 10th. Call me a pessimist, gentlemen, but I will believe that the final part of that statement when I see it. However, I'm not going to be my usual grumpy self, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. Ali, your thoughts on the numbers, and also base it on the fact that Celtic have just been allowed 18,500 for a friendly match this Saturday as well.
I was speaking to somebody today at work. I think it's a randomiser button they hit and just see what figure comes out with it, to be honest. I can see in terms of the gradual increase to get back to full capacities. I mean, Celtic, if you want to say, are a home game ahead of us at the moment, but even their third home game, which is West Ham, I think at home is 18,500. Our third home game is 12,750. Now, I know their stadium holds slightly more than us, but it just doesn't add up. Aberdeen play tonight. I think they get just over 5,000, which would be just over 25% of their stadium. So if you're going in percentages, it doesn't really work out at all. I honestly just think they make up as they go. I'm delighted we're getting to go this weekend. Obviously, we'll probably talk about that, but it's going in the right direction. But the way the Scottish Government come out with it, and I think they have come out and said it's a gradual increase, but you can look at Celtic and if you go percentage-wise, which I mean, it just doesn't work out. It's not as if it's a formula they put in and it comes out with that number, because it's not working. So Yeah, I'm not shocked, but at the same time, it's a positive in terms of we're getting back to the games, and you can slowly see it increasing. In terms of what you're saying for the 10th of August, I'm the same as you. I'm fully expect her to delay us a week or something, because to not let 50,000 Rangers fans in, I mean, that would be unbelievable, a European tie. But no, it is what it is. Disappointing because of what Celtic's getting, but I'm looking forward to being back this Saturday anyway.
Yes, so I just will touch on that. So myself, Ali and Scott were successful in getting a ticket for the Brighton game this Saturday. None of us were lucky enough to get a ticket for the Real Madrid game as it stands. If anybody has a spare Real Madrid ticket, then I'm more than happy to take it off your hands. The podcast for you will be free forever. I know they're free, but they'll be very, very free for you. So yeah, and I'll shout you out in the podcast, whatever you like. You tell me, I'll do a show, whatever you want me to do. But yeah, in all seriousness, I'm absolutely delighted to be getting back to Ibrox. I genuinely cannot wait for it. I think that it's only a wee bit of sour taste in my mouth now with the way that the government have decided to award Celtic 18,500. Look, Celtic have got a bigger capacity stadium, yes, but not big enough to justify more than double the people going on Saturday than there is going to Ibrox. It's made up nonsense because... yes, it's a trial event, whatever they want to come along with and talk about, and ease of access and all the other nonsense. But I think Rangers should be asking for an explanation on this. They should be going, well, why were we not used as a test event? Why does it have to be Celtic? So yeah, I think the fans are quite rightly a wee bit pissed off about this. Jamie, your thoughts on the 8.5 getting to Ibrox on Saturday, and obviously the Celtic getting 18,500?
I agree. It's hard to understand what the logic is. I suppose the main thing is, as you say, it's good to see the gradual rise. You boys, of course, will be able to experience that firsthand on Saturday and report back with how it's been. I think we were texting in the group chat as well about the video the club have released on sort of protocol and steps for people coming into the stadium. So it'll be good. In fact, one thing for you three to remember is you're not allowed to hug. No celebratory hugs or high fives. I
need to do this. I need to do this every time that somebody walks past me.
Yes, aye. Don't look at them. Do not look at them. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's obviously a very delicate situation, right? And I think the club they've had their hands tied to an extent because they've then been reliant on the government giving them guidelines, messages to come out with. So we're speaking again in the group chat about how tickets are distributed and who is going to be successful on the ballot. Unfortunately, I wasn't. It's one of those things. We're not going to be able to please everybody, but I'm just happy to see it going in the right direction. Obviously hopeful, probably more so hopeful from a personal point of view that I'm successful when the actual competitive games come in, the league opener. And as we say, the idea of the stadium being full for European game that's very exciting.
It's stuff dreams are made of, honestly. If they manage to get a full house for us for that Champions League game, that will be a night to remember. There's no doubt about that. I say I'll believe it when I see it. I really will. I don't see her doing it. I'm a pessimist, and I don't trust her as far as I could throw her, to be honest. So I just don't. I'll wait and see with that one. But the thought of it is goosebump stuff, absolute goosebump stuff. It would be unbelievable. In terms of, Jamie, just quickly, just before we come on and recorded there, you mentioned something that I think is quite important to say. You're obviously a My Dears member, you're a season ticket holder. You know of someone that is not a My Dears member, but they have got a season ticket, and they were offered a ticket for both Brighton and Real Madrid, and you've ended up not being offered one for any. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I've just been refreshing emails the past few days, just waiting on an email coming through. I've had an email offering the game on Rangers TV, but I've not been offered a ticket. I've been offered printing on the back of my shirt. One of those things. As I say, I'll be honest. As much as I'd put in for it, if I had the choice, I would rather go to the competitive games. But yeah, I'm not really sure how it's been worked.
Yeah, it's a bit of a debacle, I suppose, is the way to put it. Scotia, you buzzing to get back to Ibrox on Saturday, mate?
Yes. I mean, I've been lucky enough to actually go and see a game of live football since this is all kicked off. So, but absolutely delighted to get back to Ibrox on Saturday. Looking very forward to it. I was a bit surprised it was, the disparity in the numbers either day, 8.5 and 12.5. But I think that's maybe because the main stand's shut on the Saturday. I know they were doing some work to some of the seats in Ibrox. I'd seen a picture of all the seats getting replaced, so I don't know if it's to do with that. But I wouldn't imagine so. But it's looking good. It's going in the right direction. Start off positively. It's going in the right direction in terms of us all getting back in. I agree. I think it's unlikely to be a full house for the Champions League game, because the problem you've got is the more and more you open stuff up, the crowded more places get, the more likely the cases are going to rise again. But we can't be in a situation when we're one step forward, two steps back. We need to sort of almost forge ahead with it. And hopefully everyone gets vaccinated. I'm still waiting on my wee second jab. Hopefully that's soon. The Celtic attendance in comparison to ours, I don't want to put like a tinfoil hat on, but I'm struggling than that. Because, I mean, it all comes down, it's up to the local authority. So I'd have a wee bit more understanding if we were both in different local authority areas. But we're not, we're both in Glasgow. Yes, Celtic have a slightly bigger capacity, so they've got more scope to have a few more thousand in than we would and maintain social distancing, but not at the levels that they're quoting just now. I don't know what's going on there. As I say, I don't want to, but I think I do need to put my tinfoil hat on and say, no, it's because we're Rangers.
It is because we're Rangers, mate. I can't see any other way around it apart from that. And I'm the same, mate. Even when I seen that, it was the same. I was like, don't get your tinfoil hat out the cupboard, Scott. Just think about what you're about to say. And none of it makes any sense at all. As I say, they can go on about it as a test event as much as they want, but I mean, that much of a difference, it's just, I mean, they've got more on Saturday than we have for a league opener for all that. So, and even if you go back to what they said about once they started announcing the crowds initially, and it was like significant games or whatever that they'd said in the document that was released about it. Is there any more significant game this season than our Flag Day? Well, what was potentially going to be a Flag Day, we'll come on to that, but we're only allowed 17,000, but they're allowed 18.5 for a friendly against, I think it's West Ham or Fulham. I don't know who they are. They're playing one of the two of them. But yeah, I just I'll share the tinfoil hat with you, mate, because I just think there's only one reason for it, and it's because we are Rangers. That's the only reason. But if I was a club, I'd be asking the question. I don't think there's any doubt. So just quickly, lads, in terms of how they're going to decide who gets a ticket, one of the 17,000 for the first game of the season. My say on it, I think taking the MyJers thing out, it was the best thing to do. Are we all in agreement with that? Scott, I'll come back to you. Were you in agreement with that?
Yeah, totally. We mentioned it last week. It would have been unfair and you're kind of putting fans into financial tiers. So no, it should just be based on a ballot. If say for the next 3 games, we've not got full capacity in the league matches, then it should be 17,000 get it out their season ticket, then they're scrapped from the next ballot until everyone's had a shot to go. So happy they've done that, to be honest.
Yeah. Ali, you the same?
Yeah, I think it's the fairest way. Me and Scotia were discussing it on Saturday with you guys in the pub. A lot of them were MyJers members, and it alienates, I would say, the older generation. I would say the MyJers is more, if you take the people that are on it, are probably the younger generation. The older generation probably don't have a MyJers, and you can't discriminate against a guy that's had a season ticket for 30, 40 years and not a MyJers. So, no, I think it's the fairest way to do it, and I thought Rangers would do it that way, and no, fair play to them. That's the fairest way of doing it.
Jamie, agreed?
You need to prioritise the guys that, like you say, even just last season alone, that have spent a lot of money on a season ticket and haven't been in the stadium, so they really need to be the priority. The MyJers membership scheme is one that I think is going to be, hopefully it is going to be a good scheme for the club. It's obviously going to bring a lot of money in, but when you compare, a full membership's what, 50 quid, then there will be a place and a time for it, but it doesn't feel like the league opener, is it?
Yeah, as I say, I agree. I just think it's the fairest way to do it, to be honest. I say my jazz isn't for everybody. We need to understand that. We are the kind of perfect customers for Rangers, let's be honest, because we just see something, we go, yes, okay, and that's fine, and we'll just pay it because that's just what we do and we'll always do it. And that's not a gripe, by the way. I'm not saying that that's a gripe. That's just fact. It's just what we are. It's who we are. It's what we'll do. We've all bought season tickets when we weren't going to the games. So, I mean, yeah, as I say, we've just got to keep our fingers crossed that we're lucky enough to get a ticket for that. So, obviously, that was due to be our Flag Day, gentlemen. But the club did release another statement which said, following dialogue with Police Scotland and Glasgow City Council, Safety Advisory Group, Rangers can confirm they have written to the SPFL to confirm that Flag Day will be moved to the 18th of September. We will now unfurl the League Winners flag versus Motherwell, where based upon the current government roadmap, our board is pleased that all our season ticket holders will be given the opportunity to witness this occasion, as we expect Ibrox to be filled to capacity. Jamie, I'll come to you. This is a nice touch from the club, and although the way that kind of Real Madrid tickets were balloted has kind of knocked a few noses out of joint, if you will, this is a bit of good form from the club, and it's a good way to thank our loyal season ticket holders for renewing, even though we weren't going for the past year, that everybody that's renewed their season ticket and has bought one last season, this is a good way to reward them, to make sure that we all see that.
Completely agree, mate. As you say, it would have been a shame for the stadium to only be at somewhere between 30% and half of capacity to see us unfurl the league flag. So it's going to be an important moment. So yeah, really nice touch that. Fingers crossed, we'll have a full capacity stadium for celebrating properly.
Yeah, Ali, it was good of the club to do this. I think it's kudos to them. I'm almost shocked that the SPFL have let it happen.
Yeah, no, it was decent for Rangers. I mean, the way our fixture list goes, we obviously play Livingston, we're away twice, and then we're at home at Celtic. They could have made that Flag Day, but I think that which would have been good. But I mean, we are talking about getting back to a full capacity stadium. I think the club think even at the Celtic game we might not have full capacity at that point, even if we are in the Freedom Day, if you want to call it. So no, it's a good touch. I just hope Rangers go off to a flying start and we're not behind in the league by then, because it put a damp squid on it. But I'd expect Rangers to come flying at the blocks against Livingston and motor on. So it's a good incentive for the Rangers players, to be fair, to 100% win and start up to that game to show the fans, look, we are the people, and unfurl the flag.
Yeah, you see, you all think I'm the pessimist, and Ali's already talking about being behind in the league. Do you know what I mean?
I just put a wee one across.
But I'm not the worst, I'll tell you that for sure. But Scott, your thoughts on this? Nice touch for the club.
Yeah, I think it's really good. My first immediate thoughts were, well, think of all the folk that have never seen it before, and then I realised I'm one of those folk. I'm not counting all the leagues in the 2010s, but for different reasons, financial, other commitments, work, etc. I didn't have a season ticket back in the early 2000s or late 90s, so I've never actually seen us unfurl the Champions flag in my life. So at least hopefully should be in the stadium for it.
That's amazing.
No doubt I'll test positive for COVID the day before.
There's not a chance you can test positive for COVID, mate. You're locked in that room for 6 days a week. No, that's a cracking shout, mate. It really is. I'm not saying this to gloat, mate. I'm very lucky with the way that I was brought up. I seen 7, 8, 9, 6 in a row as well. I think definitely 7, 8, and 9. So I've seen it before, and but I mean, this is arguably the most special one that I'm ever going to see. So I'm delighted that the club have decided to do it. But as I say, even though they have moved it, I'm still desperate for a ticket for the Livingston game. So Mr. Rangers, if you're listening, get it sorted. But yeah, really nice touch from the club, and I think as I said, you've just got to hope now that everything gets back to normal. Cracking point though, Ali, that the club are probably thinking we might not even get a full capacity by the Old Firm. Do you know what I mean? And they're talking about letting us have a full capacity for the Champions League game. I just don't see it happening. I would love for it to happen, obviously. But again, it's another one we're just going to literally need to wait and see. If there's anything this past year and a bit taught us, is just try not to predict anything, because it probably won't turn out the way you expect it to. But we'll move on, gentlemen. So the Champions League draw was made on Monday morning. Rangers have been drawn to play Malmo or Helsinki in the UEFA Champions League third qualifying round. The first leg is away from home and will take place on either Tuesday the 3rd, or it's going to be Tuesday the 3rd, is that right now? So it is Tuesday the 3rd. The first leg of the game was last night between Helsinki and Malmo are leading 2-1 heading to Finland. No away goals, but they'll be considered favourites to go through, I would have thought. So, Ali, your thoughts on the draw of the three teams we could have played? We got Malmo, so
I wasn't really bothered who we got out. I wasn't even bothered. I wasn't overly bothered who we got out. All of them, to be honest. I thought they were much of a muchness. To be honest, a lot of people have said Malmo the ones to avoid, but to be fair, if you want to get through at the Champions League, probably you need to beat teams like this. So they don't fear me, Malmo. I was keeping an eye on their score last night. I think it went 1 each, and then it went 2-1 Malmo. So they are favourites to go through against Helsinki. But I don't fear them. I've seen their previous qualifiers. They kind of stuttered through them as well. Yeah, you're only going across to Sweden, so it's not a far trip for Rangers as well. So yeah, I don't fear them. And like I say, if we want to be in the Champions League group stages, and obviously we've got a playoff before that, we need to beat teams like this. And if we can't beat Malmo, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League. That's what it is. But no, I fancy ourselves against Malmo. I really do.
Yeah, I would go along with that, mate. I think you're 100% right. If you want to be in the Champions League, you have to be able to deal with teams like Malmo or Helsinki if it's going to be Helsinki, if Helsinki turn it round. But yeah, as I say, I think I've seen a lot of talk as well of people saying that Malmo are doing well in their league and they're quite a bit ahead and whatever else, but it doesn't really come into Champions League football. I think we should be dealing with teams like Malmo and Helsinki for that matter. Jamie, your thoughts on the tie?
I agree with what Ali said there. I think regardless of the draw, we were always going to need to beat a tough team to qualify. But this is the next level up. We've obviously done well in Europa League the past 2 seasons, so it was always going to be a difficult tie. And I think that is an interesting point you make about their respective leagues having already started, when really what we're talking about at the moment is us getting minutes in legs and getting into friendlies. So hopefully we will be in a strong position come the start of those ties. The one thing I'd actually forgotten completely about was Roof and Kamara being suspended.
And
so it'll be interesting to see
as well.
That's right. So it'll be interesting to see how we line up for those fixtures.
Yeah, will be. I'll come to our resident UEFA coefficient correspondent, Mr. Scott Gemmell. Scott, your thoughts on the tie, mate?
Yeah, I mean, on the plus side, the other teams that we could have got, one was Armenian, Alskert, I think they are, Armenian, a Moldovan team as well. Ideally, you don't want to be travelling that far to play a European game in the middle of the summer, particularly in that area. It can get very hot. So we'd like to avoid them. But on the flip side,
Scotland, but not as hot as Scotland.
Probably not. The flip side to that, though, is both Malmo and HJK are 12 games into their season, both sitting top of their league. So, they're now up to a cohesion in their team. But I fully expect it to be Malmo, and it's a wee bit like written in the stars. I mean, it was Malmo that was our last game in the Champions League before everything went tits up. So it's got that wee bit of background to it. So it'll be quite nice to if they get through and play them and beat them, because I think we're fully capable of, even though as I say, they're 12 games into their league already.
Did you watched a wee bit of the game last night, didn't you? How was it? From what I seen on Twitter, Helsinki were kind of shut up shop.
No, I was watching the Airdrie Motherwell game.
Oh, well, yeah, I thought you were sorry, because you'd messaged and said that you'd seen a game. Fuck's sake.
No, I was just keeping an eye on it through live score, and I'd seen it flagged up.
Pie all over my face there, mate. That was a welter. You should have messaged that in the group chat last night. Yeah.
we can sit and discuss the Airdrie Motherwell game then if we want. We can
no, you're all right. Thanks very much. No, I'm not really up for that.
A couple of cracking goals.
It was a good fight as well, apparently. I heard that. I heard there was a bit of a scrap. So, yeah. But no, I'm not talking about the Airdrie Motherwell game. I'm not even going down that road. Fuck that. But as I say, we'll need to wait and see. I say Malmo look like they're in a kind of commanding position. Obviously, they're travelling to Finland now for the second leg, but I'm not really concerned by either of the teams. I say when I first seen it, your initial thought is, oh, it's a tough draw, but you're in the Champions League. It's a different kettle of fish. You're not going to play Lincoln Red Imps or whoever else from Gibraltar. It's a different ball game now. So, but I fully expect Rangers to be able to deal with it and. Fingers crossed we're all there for a second leg tie at Ibrox with a full house. That would just be tremendous. So we'll move on to the Rangers-Arsenal game. So step up in opponents for Rangers at the weekend there. I was the only one that was staunch enough to actually think of our listeners as I mumbled through a post-match reaction pod myself. You can go check it out if you want. It's not great. I wouldn't really put yourself through it. It was okay. But anyway, Jamie, I know you were busy. I don't know if you caught much of the game, mate, did you?
I didn't, but I did listen to your staunch podcast. I listened to Gerard afterwards. I've seen highlights, so I'm well placed. I knew what happened.
So what do you think?
Again, I know we're not reading too much into friendlies, but I was impressed with our 2 goals, two set pieces, 2 good headers, obviously from Balogun and Itten. But one thing that was evident was, I think I agree with what you'd said there, it was a step up in class. You could see Arsenal were obviously known as being a really strong passing team. They've got a lot of pace. Tav was caught out at one point where a ball obviously came over the top that he almost kind of misjudged and got caught under it and took a bad touch. So I think it was a wee bit of a shock to some players with the pace and as you say, it was a totally different proposition. So it's been a good build up. If you think about the fixtures we've had so far, and they are starting to get more and more competitive. So. Yeah, again, a good test. Good to see players getting minutes into the legs. Really sad to see Defoe obviously come off injured. Hopefully that's not a long-term thing.
Yeah. Scotia, your thoughts on the game, mate? I think when you consider, like I said in the club reaction pod that I'd done, they spent 75 million there just on a player from Benfica, I think it was, that I've never really paid much attention to. So you're going to expect a wee step up in class.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think had that been a competitive game, like immediately you're thinking we weren't good enough, but you forget it's a step class up at a level. It's friendly, so it doesn't really matter. Tav's error leads to their goal. They kind of cut us open a wee bit at the back, but we need to play against that type because the plan would be to get into the Champions League group stages, and that's going to be more common, you would think. So good practice in that regard. We probably should have went 3-1 up. Stephen Kelly should have probably knocked it away before Middleton again makes a bit of an unforced error. Just with the press that the Arsenal players apply, gets caught out and they equalise. So I think lessons can be learned from it. So yeah, fairly decent day.
Yeah, Ali, obviously we're still playing minutes and legs, cards and stuff, and there's a very mixed starting 11 for both halves. But what was your take on Tav playing a wee bit forward just in front of Patterson?
Yeah, he tried it the second half. He pushed him into the midfield. I don't know. I don't like Tav further forward. I like Tav sitting as a right back because you can see the park in front of him. Playing, nah. For me, it's a no. I know he mentioned in his press conference about they're working on it. Unless they change it to I don't know, even a 3-5-2 or something maybe. For me, it's a no. It's a no. I have heard some guys saying you could maybe put Patterson to left back, like the boy that played for Spinazzola, played for Italy. He did that and looked comfortable. Obviously, Barisic is there, so I don't know. There'll be enough games this season if we're in the Champions League and in the Cups for Patterson to get a good 15, 20 games, I think, anyway. So, no, it's a no for me with a 2 at the moment. But in terms of the game, the pre-season this season hasn't been great in terms of it's been very disjointed in terms of he can't play the team he wants to play, Gerrard, because we've had the Euros, we've had Alfie away, we've a lot of players missing, so he's not been able to play the team he wants to play at times, so it has been quite disjointed. You see, you've got Middleton's, Jordan Jones, Jake Hasty appeared at the weekend as well, so it's hard to judge. I thought at times Arsenal could just cut us open at will when they wanted to. I mean, 2 each flattered us, to be honest. If we'd went 3-1 up, won that game 3-1, it would seriously flattered us. We should have went 3-1 up, but it's building blocks. We played Brighton at the weekend. What you'll do between the Brighton game and Real Madrid with 24 hours in between them, I don't know. But I'd like to think more players, first-team players, your Kents, Aribos, will be back in at the weekend here, building up to Livingston, because that's where I feel a bit sorry for Gerrard. He's not had his full team to pick from the previous games. It has been very disjointed. And last season, we kind of went with the team. We had the full team and then we motored into the Aberdeen game. We've not been able to do it this pre-season so far. But hopefully at the weekend, we'll see more of the Rangers team that we'll see in the 31st against Livingston.
Yeah, I think as well, though, even obviously Gerrard not having all these players available to him, I think that kind of shows you where the club is just now. I mean, we've got these players going off and representing their countries in these big tournaments. It's been a while since that's happened to us. Do you know what I mean? It's not often over the past decade that we've had many players away representing their countries in kind of major competitions. So I think it's also a good thing as well as not being ideal for pre-season preparation. But yeah, I mean, like, you're right, mate. I mean, we went 3-1 up. It would have flattered us. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Aubameyang missed a couple of good chances that he probably should have scored with. But I mean, you're playing against Arsenal, as I say. I said it on the club reaction pod. This is a club that's made Europe for 25 years in a row, and they've got the most. I think they've got the most expensive season ticket in Britain. Do you know what I mean? It's like extortionate to buy a season ticket. There's about to say Highbury, but the Emirates.
Yeah.
Guy at my work's got a season ticket for Arsenal, and it's just over $2,000.
That's mental, man. Honestly, I mean, it's an investment and a half every year to really do that. I mean, considering they've not won the league in I don't know how long it's been, so it's very expensive. But I mean, yeah, it was a good test for the players, a bit of an eye opener, and and it leads us on nicely, obviously, into the double header that we have coming up. Obviously, we play the Brighton, or the Shane Duffy testimonial, as Ali likes to call it. We'll play that on Saturday, and on Saturday the Spanish Giants, Los Blancos, Real Madrid are there on Sunday. Brighton game's 5:30 kick-off. The Real Madrid game's 6 p.m. kick-off. So I don't think in my 30-something years I have seen Rangers play twice in a weekend. But there is a first for everything. So safe to say we are looking forward to one match more than the other, but I still mean we're probably still looking forward to Real Madrid more than we are Brighton, but maybe not. Ali, we're going to Brighton, so. But yeah, what do you expect from the weekend? These two games, mate.
To be fair, I know everyone when we're on the group chat going, Real Madrid, but I actually wanted the Brighton game. One, because it's a Saturday. I can kind of reminisce from pre-COVID times when we go to the pub, have a couple of pints, and we've all got the Sunday off work, so that's why I wanted the Brighton game, and also our pal Shane Duffy's returning, so give him a bit of abuse will be absolutely brilliant. I mean, the banter against him, I mean, I've seen the song against Tierney in the Arsenal game with the 2000, but Shane Duffy is going to get it tight and Saturday. I can't wait for it. But no, I don't know what they'll do. Honestly, unless he cuts it into 45 minutes and goes, and just cuts the teams and goes, right, we'll give you 45 minutes Brighton, 45 minutes Real Madrid. I don't know what he'll do, but I'm just buzzing to be back. I can't wait for it, and I'm just delighted we all got one. I know Jamie didn't get one, which is disappointing. If we could have got the four of us going, that would have been really good. But just to, I know it's not our own seats and everything, but just to be back in that ground, and it's not the Argyle restaurant having a look at your seat for there. It's going to be good, and I'm really looking forward to it on Saturday.
Yeah, Jamie, I almost feel bad coming to ask you about what you expect from the weekend, mate. And I'm not rubbing it in, mate. I would never do something like that. But what are you expecting? What are you thinking ahead of the Brighton and the Real Madrid visits?
I'm expecting everybody, when you're standing facing forward, you need to turn and look the other way when everybody's walking by. Adhere to all policies now. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good games. I think Gerrard probably will split up, like you say, Ali. I think he'll go for the 45s as he has been. Double loading players for a game on Saturday and Sunday seems unlikely, but it'd be interesting to see if folk like Helander coming back, if he's going to need minutes. He's not really played at the Euros, to be honest, so he should be in good shape. We've touched on it. We've got a very big squad, so hopefully you get to see more of the first team players on Saturday while she's there.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're not coming, mate. I really am. I'm sorry you didn't even get a ticket to the Real Madrid game either, mate. I just fully expected, because you didn't get one for Brighton, mate, that you would get one for Real Madrid, and then you told me the day that you've not. So it's a gutter for you, man. It's a gutter.
As long as I get to Livingston or a competitive game, I'm not too fussed.
I would be the same, mate. It's a cracking way to look at it, mate. It really is. Kudos for that, mate. Scotia, your thoughts ahead of the two ties at the weekend?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, as I said earlier, particularly the Saturday game, because I'll be there. And the more Real Madrid's my kind of dream game. Ideally, I want them in the Champions League group stages as well, if we can. But the more I've thought about it, I think the Saturday game's going to be slightly better. Real Madrid, I think we're their first friendly, and then I think they play AC Milan a week or so later. So they'll be at the very start of their pre-season. I don't expect them to, go all out firing. They'll be getting what we've been doing the last few games, getting minutes and legs and stuff like that. I think Brighton are a wee bit further forward in terms of their preparation, because I think the Premier League starts a wee bit before the La Liga. I might be wrong there, but I think they're a wee bit further along anyway. So I think the Saturday's probably the game for the team, sort of Gerrard, to pick what he would be his first team game selection for the Livy game next week. And I've got it in the back of my mind as well that because the game's on it's Sunday at 6 o'clock kickoff. I don't know how interruptive that would be to training. I don't know if they get Mondays off or not, but I don't know how interruptive it would be to the training schedule the next week if people are playing and off, like, say 75% of the game on a Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. So I think Saturday might be the better game to be at.
I love your thinking behind that, mate, and I hope it's the more starting 11 that we see as well, to be completely honest.
Keep telling yourself that.
I know. He's made a good plan for it, though. He's set out the stall for that quite well. I'd be taking that to Gerrard and going, hey, there's your reasoning for playing your best team, Mr. Gerrard. But no, well thought, good thought put into that, mate. You can tell you're locked in that room for 6 days. But no, yeah. I think it's exciting to see these two games over 2 days. I mean, it doesn't often happen, but your weekend's completely dominated by Rangers. It's usually one day or the other. But yeah, I mean, I think it's still going to be amazing for the people that are getting to go to Real Madrid, because even if they don't play their full team and they don't play their big stars for the kind of 90 minutes, they're still going to see them round the park and stuff, and they're doing their warm up and whatever else, and it's a cracking experience, especially for youngsters as well. You know what it's like now. The kind of modern football fan, if you like, seems to have two teams, and it's Rangers and some other massive team usually. So I mean, yeah, I think I just can't wait for it. I can't wait to get back to the stadium. As I say, I don't really. say I've been to the stadium numerous times, walked around it and whatever else, and we would say me and Ali went to the Argyle restaurant for something to eat, but it's just not the same as actually going to a game. So I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, I cannot wait. I know it's not the return that we all wanted, and it's not my seat, but we're getting there. We're going in the right direction, and I think this is a big weekend for the club. So just before we finish up, gentlemen, we'll just quickly touch on transfers and the Joey Veerman signing. It's the kind of biggest transfer rumour just now. It doesn't really seem to be going away. According to reports in Holland, a bid has been made. The 22-year-old midfielder is currently playing in the Dutch top league and considered to be a bit of a star of the future. The rumours are anywhere between 5 to 7 million for the young player. So, Jamie, what's your thoughts on Veerman? Do you have any? Do you think it's a good signing for Rangers?
Guy looks a great prospect. Like you say, still very young. I've done the usual and obviously went on to YouTube, and I've picked out some clips, and he looks a prospect. Really good passer of the ball. Even just looking at his stats at a glance, lots of goals and assists. I think he actually might take penalties as well. But that when you think about that, you think about that outlay of if it's 5 to 7 million, you're in the kind of bracket of Ryan Kent there. If we bring him in, someone's going. Someone's got to be going from that central midfield area, because we've just got far too much talent in there, which I'm not complaining about. It's just I think it's inevitable to bring someone of that stature in. But I'm excited about that if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, I think it's I honestly think it's a great bit of business. I think we would push him on for a lot more than we're going to pay for him. As you say, I looked at a few analyst pages and stuff on Twitter in regards to him and his heat maps and stuff from last season, and he looks a player. The boy looks like he can absolutely play ball. So it's quite an exciting signing for Rangers. Ali, your thoughts on the Veerman signing if it happens?
Yeah, I think he's a replacement for Davis, to be honest. Boy's 22. I think last season with Hereveen, 9 goals, 11 assists. So he's decent, involved in 20 goals for them. Yeah, he looks a player. I mean, YouTube could make Scotia look a player, to be honest. And it does. It could let anyone look a player, but no, his stats back it up. Yeah, he looks the type of guy that we should be going for. To be fair, we've not actually spent money this season. We've got 3 transfers, but the guys that have come in, I'd imagine, are on a good wage. So, yeah, somebody will need to go. We'll need to trim the squad. There's a lot of guys that need to go out the door, but I think this could run this one. I think they knocked a 5 million bid back for, was it Verona or something? I think Hereveen. So I don't think they're in a rush to sell him. I think he wants to go. He's made it clear he wants to go, but I think it could run a wee bit. May depend if we make Champions League, obviously with the money that comes with that. So we'll need to see, but I think it'll run a wee while, this one. And like you say, we need to start trimming the squad. It's far too big at the moment, and I think in the next week or so we will start to see players leaving. Yeah,
I agree, mate. I think especially after these kind of 2 friendlies are out the road, I think you'll see major movements kind of out the door. I think there's probably stuff already probably in motion, especially as well. We seen Kai Kennedy joined to Dunfermline today. Did you see the way they announced it on Twitter?
Yeah, I seen that.
No.
It's brilliant, isn't it? The Mr. Kennedy from the WWE. Yeah. Oh, absolutely brilliant. If you've not seen that, go on to Dunfermline's official Twitter page and check it out. It's absolutely brilliant. Kudos to them.
I would say in the Kai Kennedy one, I'm surprised he's going to the Championship again, because he was with Wraith Rovers in Inverness last season and done well. I thought they would have stepped him up to the Premiership. I thought a team bottom 6, even top 6, would have taken him all day long. West Ham sniffing at him for 1-2 million, whatever it is. So I'm surprised he's going back into the Championship with Dunfermline. I thought they would have stepped him up to the Premiership.
Yeah, I would go along with that, mate. I was a wee bit shocked at that as well. Anyway, Scotia, I didn't come to you there, mate. What's your thoughts on the Veerman signing, or potential Veerman signing?
Yeah, really excited. It's been kicking about for quite a while now. And as soon as seems like months ago now that I first heard about it, so I had a wee look at him then, and yeah, was really excited. I know Ali's there saying that he's a replacement for Davis, which, yeah, I can understand where he's coming from, but I think it's you're pretty much looking at Kamara going out for us being able to bring him in financially, really. And we've got kind of tough competition in terms of Serie A clubs sniffing about him to get him. But hopefully we can get it over the line, because I think he's the type of player we would want for these games in the Champions League, when I'm making myself confident when we make it to the group stages. Yeah, so I
agree, mate. I think it would be a cracking bit of business if it happens, but yeah, we'll probably have to wait for it. As you say, there's many factors probably going into this just now. But yeah, I mean, I do think if Rangers manage to get him, even for 7 million, the kind of top figure that we've seen, you're going to make money on him. I don't think there's any real doubt about it. And I would go along with what Scott said there. I think if we do eventually get him, then I think it spells the end for Kamara, Ibrox. Which is a shame, but we cannot keep everybody, and somebody is going to have to go at some point. So we're just going to need to wait and see. Gentlemen, that will do us for tonight. I appreciate you giving up your time to sit and sweat inside to talk about Rangers. I'm very warm, very, very warm. This front room is roasting, so I'm looking forward to getting outside. Ali, thank you very much for your time, mate, and I will see you on Saturday.
You will. I'll be picking you up, and we'll be having a few bevies on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to it. But I'm away to run a cold bath, and I'm just away to lie in it for a while.
Jamie, enjoy your weekend, mate. Gutted you're not going to be with us on Saturday, man. But thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, enjoy, boys. Remember, no hugging.
No hugging. Scotia, thank you, mate, and I'll see you on Saturday as well.
Yeah, cheers, see you on Saturday. Out to get the last bit of the evening sunshine.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to have a cold cider outside, I think, while I get all this sorted to put up. But yeah, that'll do. So obviously this is our second last Club Deck Corner before the season starts. And for the build-up to the start of competitive football, next week we have 2 very special shows coming up. We've got a special interview show that's going to drop on Tuesday with a rather special guest. I really cannot wait to record that one. I'm not going to announce it. You'll see who it is when it comes out. And we'll have a very, very special Club Deck Corner on Thursday night, where we will welcome a couple of the lads from This Is Ibrox. They'll be joining us for a review of pre-season and a kind of season preview as we begin our charge for 56. So yeah, really delighted that the boys have agreed to come on, and we really can't wait to welcome them and to start building up to the charge for 56, as I've just said. So really looking forward to that. That'll be with you next Thursday. So we will bring you some reaction from the Brighton match from Ibrox on Saturday, and we will be back with a kind of usual club reaction pod after the Real Madrid game on Sunday. So finally, from me, just a shameless plug. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the videos, give us a wee 5-star review on Apple Podcast, leave a comment and follow our socials. It really does support us, and it really makes a huge difference to us. So thank you to everybody for listening. If you are going to any of the matches this weekend, enjoy it. And if you're going on Saturday and you see us, come over and say hello. It'd be lovely to meet some of you. So we are Club at 22, the Champions Podcast. I am sweating. I am going outside. Thank you to everybody for listening. I'll speak to you all next time. Cheers.